This is the Howard Dare Channel. Howard Dare Channel.
Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I just wanted to come on and talk to you about some of the subjects that I've been talking about in my videos, right? Makes sense. Also, waiting on some live comments from President Trump because it's like, you know, he's speaking to the veterans. And I don't think that President Trump is able to speak directly to men's issues, right? The world is still too gynocentric. And we're going to talk about this. This is an important subject. How it relates to MGTOW, how it relates to politics. I don't think people understand the connection. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, everybody. And the avatars are up and running. Now, I've kind of given you a section on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, I've moved the Super Chat plant out of your way there. And, you know, I've given you this open area down here. So enjoy. And got some other things that I want to show you. But you know, we'll get to that. I'm just having some coffee. I drink coffee all day. And it's a good drink. You know what I mean? It's a slight stimulant, but you have to have decent coffee. You can't have like instant coffee, and you can't mix too much stuff with it. Although I like a little sweetener, I like a little creamer, and I use it. Oh well, you didn't come here for that. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody comes here, right? I know why I come here, but I get a lot of heat for talking about politics within MGTOW. And I understand where it's coming from, but I don't think they understand where I'm coming from. Like, you don't need to belong to any particular political persuasion to adopt the MGTOW principles and ideas and even interact within, you know, what we have here, you know, as a community. Although I want you guys to recognize that just because somebody comes here and says that they're MGTOW doesn't mean that they are, okay? Cuck Eli was, you know, never MGTOW, guys. I hate to break that to you. And his involvement with MGTOW was destructive. You know, it was a political attack motivated by political conditioning, which is this leftist, gynocentric, feminist, and also globalist. It's a group collective loyalty versus loyalty to, you know, the individual's freedom. Most people don't understand this stuff. Most people don't, you know, come to terms and understand these things in their lifetimes. It takes a long time. Maybe your freedom has to be taken away from you before you do understand what it is. And I hope to give insight to these types of things. Can you guys hear me okay? And are the sound levels okay? Now, you know, the reason why I'm, you know, giving so much, hey, Bombay Panther is here. Thanks for stopping by. Space to your chat section and, you know, recording it, even though it's also within the video, is because I, Howard Dare, have botified myself. You know, I'm a bot, you know, partially bot. So I'm like a cyborg. And there's a whole series of commands and games and betting and dueling and attacks and chatting and interaction that you can do with the bot, you know, with the avatars, with the little avatars here. And I want, you know, to give you guys enough room to do that and to, you know, to bet and to make money. Now, audio is great. Thank you for the feedback, Tree Hugger. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. I wonder if oh, That's not right. That's right. Yeah, no problem. Let me check up on Trump and see where he is. Well, the event has started, but Trump is not speaking yet, so we don't really care. I think Trump is a good person to listen to, not for for political persuasion, but simply for communication, learning how to communicate and speak with people, learning how to interact with a crowd as well. We'll just keep this muted for now. Let it play up here on the big screen. Keep it out of your way. There you go. So, yeah, the question is, are globalists traitors to their own country? And, oops, I think I stopped playing my thing. Oh, there it is. And knowing my audience the way that I do, I'm going to suggest that the answer is yes. But, and I think most of you are aware of this, it's a female emotional appeal that appeals to children, that appeals to women, that appeals to people who need help. And there's nothing inherently wrong with, needing help, but there is something wrong with adopting the mindset, that your whole life is something for other people to take care of. And I hope this can give you a little insight as to why people are like always finding fault with other people. Your ancestors did this to mine. You cheated my people here and there. And it's like, nobody cheated you. Nobody's, I haven't done you any wrong. I'm sure of that. But they won't let it go. They want to be taken care of. They haven't moved beyond that particular mindset. Of a needy child, of a desperate woman, of a sick old person. But people in general are adopting this mindset, this view of the world. And it's toxic, right? Like you can't even run, you can't run an economy. It will destroy the greatest economic engine that the world has ever known. And it's not too hard to figure out, right? This is like when guys are talking about, you should work for free. It's like, you should understand capitalism and motivated self-interest and freedom and individual rights before you try to speak to me about these things. This is not a political discussion. This is a moral and an ethical discussion. This is a question of the moral and ethical purpose of your life, not whether or not you win an argument, not whether or not someone can speak louder than someone else, not whether or not someone can, take over someone's live stream and shit like that. These are the principles. These are the things that when you lose everything, you still get up in the morning and you say, I have to go do these things because of these principles and ideals and values and virtues that drive you. And if you lose those, they want to take them away from you. They are taking them away from you. The idea that you have them is offensive to them, right? The idea that you would say no, the idea that you would say, this is my yard. These are the fences of my yard. These are the borders of my property. This is the wall around my country. These are the rules that you have to follow in order to interact with me. And this is not an authoritative, overbearing, type of thing. Look, this is the nationalist versus globalist, debate, discussion. And I want you to recognize that it's this weak, collectivized mindset of people who want to be taken care of. And, from a woman, from a child, from a needy person, it's understandable. It's even somewhat compassionate, isn't it? Indeed, it is. But not when you're using someone else's money, and not when you, play it out on a global, on a nationwide scale. Take it down to the personal level. It's the same argument between a mother and a father, in how they're going to treat their child when it grows up, right? Like the child needs help and the mother is like, oh my God, he's stuck climbing a tree. We have to run out there and help him, okay? And the father is like, no, if we do, he'll never learn how to climb up a tree and climb down from a tree. He'll be a cripple. So you have to let this natural suffering, this natural learning, this natural adapting to the environment take place in order to develop strong individuals. This is the male point of view. This is an open market point of view. This is a freedom, individual responsibility-based point of view. This is the father's point of view. But then there's the mother's point of view. Oh, you need to take care of them. You need to watch out for them. You need to make sure that they don't get hurt. And at certain stages, this is fully appropriate. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you should never do that. It's like, no, if you're dealing with a toddler, yes, you should be doing that. If you're dealing with a pregnant woman that you care about, yeah, you should be doing that. You should be looking over, protecting, guarding, all kinds of things. Sick elderly people, if you want to take care of them, if they mean something to you, you can make that choice. But what if, you're compelled? What if you're not even thinking about it? See, that's what's going on. The men are forced to adopt these values. And if they even pause to think about it, it's like, oh, you're a racist. So honestly, like if you bring up the conversation, even in a classroom, hey, maybe we shouldn't have open borders. Maybe we should use our tax resources and our national treasure for our citizens and to better our country. And it's like, oh my God, what a horrible human being you are. What a racist you are. You're just like Hitler. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm asking this question, and it's the right question, okay? Because if you sacrifice for people, okay, who don't sacrifice for you, then you're a fool, and they will take everything from you. And they will try to instill a false creed within you of sacrifice and altruism for others, and they don't have it for you. Right? This is the basic argument between the man and the woman, right? She has inherent value. She's beautiful. She is cherished. People want to sleep with her. People don't want to see her cry. And if you make her cry, you're in a lot of trouble. And she doesn't have to do anything. It's just who she is. It's what she is. And women know this. Women are perfectly aware. Women want that. They don't want to give that up. That's their ace in the hole. That's their stock in trade. Man is not like that. A little boy. See, this is the problem sometimes dealing with guys who are coming into MGTOW or think that, they're just like 19-year-old boys who live, they're raised by a single mother and they think they're MGTOW. Well, they have a female mindset. So, this struggle, whether you realize it or not, it's a male-female struggle. It's a collective group versus individual freedom struggle. The globalists, in case you want to know who they are, they're just large moneyed interests. Power aggregates. It wants to hold on to power. Nobody's like, oh, let's, get a whole bunch of power and then let's just give it away. Only a fool, because if they do that, then they have no power, okay? So the people who have power because they hold on to their power. This is money. This is influence. This is the media. These are banks. These are economies. These are merely the large economic interests within the various countries that hold enough power that they can sway the entire economy, even the world economy. That's all it is. It's not a conspiracy. That's what it is. And those people don't want to lose that. No, and neither would you. And the reason why they have it is because they're the types who don't lose it. So that's what you're up against. And you're just an individual. And 55 people watching. I appreciate it, people. Go ahead and hit the like button if you would. I'd appreciate that too. It's all related. It's interconnected. And I'm sorry if some of you can't see it, and I'm sorry if I can't explain it. If I can't articulate it properly. It's vast, it's interrelated, it's connected. And yet it is, at its heart, at its core, pretty much what you think it is. It's you as an individual man in the world having to make your own way without any favors or advantages or gifts or anything like that, versus a bureaucracy, a group, a collective that doesn't even want to see you have individual rights. You know what I mean? That actually exists based on exploiting you, overtaxing you, overregulating you, overburdening you. And if you don't like it, and if you complain, and if you try to go your own way, that's what this is. If you try to go your own way, they will attack you. Peer-to-peer. Super chat coming through. MGTOW, how's it going? Yeah, I'm seeing the avatar, it's looking good. It's a yin-yang. Says it's hard to find balance between working on myself and making sure the culture around me doesn't collapse and take away the opportunity that I have to do that. Well, indeed, it's like, what is your responsibility? Oh, we've lost all our avatars, people. I'm sorry, you guys. A lot of people would say, I have no responsibility to, the greater world around me. And it's like, well, you are a part of it, right? So if this is a lifeboat and it's sinking and you're not going to do anything to stop it from sinking, you are going down with it. So indeed, it is a balance. And I think a lot of people get distracted from doing the inner important work on themselves, by external events that they can't influence, that they can't have anything to do with. Let me see if I can reset the avatars. It's interesting. The star is still here, but the avatars are gone. Trying to reconnect. So even with your family, even with your friends, when you try to step out of line, when you try to go your own way, when you don't go along with the group, when you don't buy into their values and ideas, which you understand when you do that, it reinforces, it collaborates, it affirms what they believe in and what they do. Connection failed. To restart the application. So even your own friends and family are hesitant to let you go your own way, to find your own way. And make no mistake, this is what Nietzsche was talking about when he referred to the Superman, a man who, loses his worldview, the idea that God is dead. Oh, well, that's a more advanced subject. Don't engage. Avenatti, I believe her. Hey, Monk Music, thanks for stopping by. Avenatti supposedly got arrested for some sort of domestic violence. So he probably just got in an argument with a woman and lost it to some degree. We don't know. And she just, boom, called the cops on him. Maybe he's going to wake up and become red-pilled. I highly doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Oh, let me see if the bots are back. The avatars. Where are the avatars? So thank you for the support, MGTOW. I appreciate that. And everybody else, you can, support me through Super Chat. You can support me through PayPal. You can support me over on Stream, which is really cool. I wish people would support me over there. It's just PayPal. It is, but it just goes through the Stream interface, but it allows you to customize your message. It allows you to put a message up with the donation and customize it a little bit and things like that. We'll get there. Okay, we're back. We're connecting. Now, something very interesting, well, to me, the timing will be off in the recorded stream of not of what we type in chat, and not of me responding to things in chat, but only to the avatars. I think the avatars are 30 seconds behind to us. Like if I issue a command, I don't think it's going to show up for like 30 seconds. But I think in the playback of this podcast, it's timed up properly. So it makes it almost impossible to comment on it and, to be coherent. Where is my sound on this one? Oh, it's all the way down there.
From the Marine barracks. No, veterans have never had a better friend in the White House. So it is my high honor and distinct pleasure to introduce to you the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Wow. That was such a nice introduction, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. And by the way, just so you understand, he's doing a great job. Please sit down. After that introduction, I would have to say that even if he wasn't doing a great job, right? But he's a fantastic person who has committed like I've never seen. And he came out of defense, and they weren't happy about it. That's always a good sign. When they're not happy, when they are happy, you picked the wrong person. But they're still not happy about it. Thank you very much. Where are you? Here you are. Thank you very much. Beautiful. And thank you, everybody, for being here. This is a tremendously important group of people to me. America's veterans, these are special people. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the White House Conference on supporting veterans' military families. And we all know how important families are for us. I do want to thank, I understand with us, who's really been of great help is the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes. Where's Sean? Hi, Sean. Thank you very much. Really good. Earlier this week, our nation celebrated Veterans Day, and we also marked the 100th anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. It's a beautiful, beautiful, and important day. On Sunday, I had the immense privilege of visiting Suresnes Cemetery in France to pay tribute to the brave Americans who laid down their lives for our nation 1 century ago, 100 years. We will never forget what these heroes did to win, and when they did, the war and to secure peace. To everyone here today who has served our country in uniform, and to every veteran and military family across our land, I want to express the eternal gratitude and thanks of our entire nation. Delivering for our great veterans requires strong partnerships at all levels of government. That is why we are so grateful to you, the state, very important, and local community leaders. It all doesn't work without you. It doesn't work without you. From around the country who are participating in today's very important conference. We're also glad to be joined by Secretary of Labor Alex Acosta, wherever Alex may be. Where is Alex? Hello, Alex. Doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Who is leading up our efforts to ensure veterans and military families can find great jobs and rewarding careers. And one of the best things we have going is you have maybe the greatest economy we've had in many, many years. Thank you, Alex. Thought I saw you back there. Now you're where you belong, right next to each other, right? So I want to thank all of the people that are making this economy go. We have so many people working so hard, but it's booming. And veteran unemployment has reached its lowest level in nearly 21 years. And it's going to be better. It's going to even be better. And that number will be better because if you look at the various statistics, African-American employment is the lowest level in history. Hispanic employment is the lowest level in history. Asian employment is the lowest level in history. Women, 65 years. So we have to do better for the veterans. I think 21 years isn't the same. I have a feeling that the next chart that comes out, they'll be right up there too. But this is the lowest in 21 years. Since day one, my administration has also taken bold action to reform the Department of Veterans Affairs and deliver our veterans the care they so richly deserve, working very hard on it. Last year, I signed the landmark VA Accountability Act, which, as you know, by accountability, that ensures us the right to get rid of, in a very nice way, or a very rough way, any way we want. But the Secretary probably is a rough way, and that's okay. That's okay too, Secretary. Those who mistreat our veterans, and they are going to be held fully accountable. This was something that for, I would say, 4 decades, they've been trying to get it approved. Sounds easy, it's not. I love the unions, we love civil service, but they didn't make this one easy for many, many decades. We got it done. We're good at getting things done. Since my inauguration, we have removed more than 3,600 government employees who were not giving our vets the care or respect that they deserve. In June, I proudly signed into law the most significant VA reform in half a century, called Veterans' Choice. Everyone knows what that means. Now, if a veteran cannot get the treatment they need from the VA in a timely manner, they can see a private doctor. They don't have to wait 12 days or 20 days. I heard horror stories like you wouldn't believe during the campaign when I was campaigning. And I appreciate the Secretary saying that it was a very major part, the veterans, of all of my speeches. I don't think I left them out of one speech, and I made plenty of them. And they were at the top. And now we're really producing, I think, far greater than anyone would have thought possible. Since I took office, 2.2 million veterans have been able to receive the care they need outside of the VA system. So there's no more waiting on lines. Literally, people were waiting. You know better than I do, but they'd be waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in some cases to see a doctor. Now they go and they see a private doctor right outside, hopefully right next to their house or where they live, and we pay for it. And they're very thankful. It's been incredible. And we're actually upping that program quite a bit as time goes by. We're going to be doing certain steps that we always had planned, but we're doing it step by step. And we've had great support in Congress, I have to say that. In September, I signed into law the largest funding bill for the VA in history. We secured $8.6 billion for veterans' mental health services, $400 million for opioid abuse prevention, and $270 million for rural veterans' health initiatives. The rural veterans have had it pretty tough over the years because they're pretty far away from a lot of potentially good treatment. Working with the VA and the Department of Housing and Urban Development, we've helped nearly 54,000 veterans in need. We've helped them find permanent housing and great services last year. To improve the efficiency of the VA, I signed the Veterans Appeals Improvement and Modernization Act. Over the last 2 years, we have taken dramatic action to streamline the bureaucracy and made tremendous progress. In the last year, we processed more than 1 million total claims processed. Total claims at the VA, along with 85,000 appeals decisions, the most in history, and 62% more than the previous year, which is a record, Nobody's ever seen that kind of an improvement. Since I took office, we have reduced the average claim wait time, such a big factor in what we're doing, wait times, by nearly 25%, and that number is going to go substantially better with a little more time. We opened the promised White House VA hotline, which has already fielded more than 150,000 calls and emails from our veterans when they have a complaint, a problem, or in many cases we receive compliments for what's happened in the less than 2 year period. It's almost 2 years, can you believe it? but it's still less than 2 years. In January, I signed an executive order directing the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, and Veterans Affairs to ensure seamless access to mental health care and suicide prevention resources for veterans. Tremendous, hard to believe problem. Hard to believe, actually. With a focus on the first year after separation from military service, when a lot of bad things can happen. We secured $206 million for VA suicide prevention programming. And every VA medical center now offers same-day emergency mental health care. But we have to do more, and we're working to do more. We will be working with every state and local leader, so many of you are here, and around the nation to improve vital mental health services for Americans' great veterans. This is a top priority for my administration, has been, as I said from the beginning, always will be. Until we get it right, and we're getting close, and once we get it right, we're going to keep it right, because it can go bad just as fast as we fixed it. So we're going to keep it right. Pretty soon, that's what we're going to be working on, Mr. Secretary, just keeping it right. We're getting to a point. Another crucial element of our veterans' agenda is improved access to education. Last year, I signed legislation to allow every veteran to use their GI Bill education benefits at any point in their lives. And earlier this year, I signed an executive order to promote military spouse hiring across the federal government. Military families are the backbone of our nation. So in addition to everything else, as you see, I did the promotion of military spouse hiring across the federal government. Fact is, I've done a lot. I could, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's more than anybody's ever even thought about, and I'm proud of it. And we're not finished yet. That's why I figured I did so much I could leave now. But we're not finished. We never will be finished. To support our heroes in uniform, we have secured a record $716 billion in military funding this year. And last year, we increased it by hundreds of billions of dollars to $700 billion. America's military might is the best way to prevent war. The stronger we are, the less chance we have of having to go to war. It's now a new force, a great force. We have the finest equipment, the finest planes, the finest missiles and rockets, ships. Some are being built. Just gave out a tremendous order for brand new F-35s, fighter jets. They're stealth. You can't see them. Other than that, they're easy to beat. I said to one of the pilots, I said, how good are these? They said, well, sir, the problem is you can't see them when you fight them. I said, that sounds like it's a big advantage. They said, it's an awfully big advantage. It's incredible equipment. Everything we make the best equipment in the world. You should know that. I mean, we make equipment like nobody else even comes close. Our technology is far superior to anybody else. Our jet fighters, even our tankers, but our planes, our ships, there's nobody that makes the equipment like we make it. And the beautiful thing with when you hear $716 billion, it's all made in the USA. Every ounce of it, right? And we will soon have the greatest and most prepared force, military force, anywhere in the history of our country, by far. And that's what we need. It was becoming very depleted and very tired, and you people know probably better than anybody in this country what was happening. It was not good, and now it's really good. It's our sacred duty to support America's service members. Every single day they wear the uniform, and every day after, when they return home as veterans and heroes, we take care of them. That's very important. And they really appreciate it. I think nothing I've done is more appreciated. I think we've done a lot for a lot of different groups, but nobody's appreciated it more than the vets. I see that when I go out, when I make speeches, and I meet people backstage and on stage. I think the vets may be more than anybody else, appreciate what we're doing for them. So together we will honor those who defend us, we will cherish those who protect us, and we will celebrate the amazing heroes who keep America safe and strong and proud and free. I want to thank you all. You're very incredible people. I know the job you do. I know how hard it is. I know what you've gone through, especially before we came into office. What you went through was incredible, horrible in certain ways. But I know what you went through, and it's my honor to be with you, and God bless America. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great job. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, that was nice, right? I think that when the president is talking about taking care of veterans, he's talking about addressing men's issues and the way that men are viewed and dealt with in American society. And it's deplorable. It's despicable. Oh, thank you for the super chats, everybody. I didn't want to talk over the president or anything like that. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the audio back? So, I know that a lot of people don't like to talk about politics in relation to MGTOW, but I hope you can see like the battle lines that are being drawn, right? I hope you recognize that the feminists are, Democrats and globalists and leftists. Oh, I've noticed some chat about liberalism. Yes, Ben Franklin was a liberal. Voltaire was a liberal. Much of the early, inspiration for the formation of America are through liberal principles. Yeah, liberalism is great. But what modern day, the left is touting as liberalism is regressive progressivism. It's false progressivism. It's not liberalism at all, suggesting that we should open up our borders and suggesting that that's, based on liberalism. Could you say that's a liberal idea? Yeah, I suppose you could say, but it's a misuse, of the language. Saying that we should open up our borders and just let anybody in. It's not merely a liberal idea. It's a decadent, it's a foolish, it's an indulgent, it's an emotional, female indulgent idea. Understand, this is the conflict. This is, the struggling point. It's this conflict between these crazy, impractical, emotional, manipulative appeals to emotion. Another super chat coming through, big one too. Bogus Weave. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Bogus Weave Addiction. That's an interesting name. Video request. Can you explain further why it is not a man's way to be flashy? Watches, jewelry, shoes, competing for status, etc. You talk about it sometimes, but never dedicate a video. Help me with my confusion. Inverted values. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can. That sounds like a fine topic, actually. MGTOW, Marxism. Yeah, indeed, Marxism. Collectivism, a group mindset, a herd mindset. But you could understand from the herd's point of view, this is women and children first. So you understand where this came from. And yes, bogus. It's a very interesting thing because, it really does deal with the whole idea of destroying the ego, okay? That the man wants to work through his own egocentrical interpretation of the world, that it's too limited, okay? But then when he does that, he can't destroy his true self. You see, you can't take it too far. This is almost like, the alchemist's stone, okay? Taking the man and just breaking him down. So you've got a young man who dreams of being the champion, okay? But it's very selfish. It's very egocentric. It's like, I want to be the one in charge. I want everybody to come to me. I want the women to look up to me. I want the crowds to worship me. I want to be like a rock star. And it's like, okay, do you really? We'll find out. And then they start going after it. But understand their motivation. Okay. It's small. It's petty. It's personal. They want to be important. Okay. Let's say a person wants to be president. Okay. But deep down inside, the reason why he wants to be president, or she, is because they want to be in charge. They think they're the best. They think they're the smartest. They think they should, lord over other people. And it flatters their ego. They start going after what they want in life. They meet up with struggles. They realize that what they wanted, is small. It's petty. And they give up a lot of it. And they hold on, hopefully, to the few things, that are truly important to them. And these superficial values get burned away from the man, right? Like, you're going to be like working in the pit, in the quarry, fucking getting marble out of there. That's what you're going to do. You thought you were a big time architect, but turns out you can't get any work as an architect. So now you have to go down to the rock quarry and work in the pits with anybody who's coming into the country just to earn enough to get by, okay? But you wanted to be a big, important architect, right? So there's this conflict, isn't there? Not every man can go down into the pits, can he? You guys know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about the antagonist within The Fountainhead, Howard Rourke. That's exactly what happens to him. And he has no problem with it, okay? It doesn't even faze him in the least. Everybody around him is like, wow, gee, we're sorry, Howard. We're sorry that you were, like a big level architect, and now through troubles and difficulties, you have to work down at this level. He's like, well, I'm not sorry about it. I like picking out the marble, or someone like Michelangelo, going down and picking out the marble that he's going to be using for his statues. Absolutely. The idea of Elon Musk going down onto the production floor, and helping to, put the screws, on the engines and the motors and shit like that. Absolutely. So this is part of the process, right? This false ego being stripped away and burned away until we now have, the true core of the man. But if he goes too far, he loses everything. He gets burned away. Okay. Let's say that you love chocolate milk, right? That's what you like. Let's say you're Mike Tyson, okay? But the thing that you really like to do after a fight is have a big glass of chocolate milk, So whatever. Are you going to take that away? Are you going to say, no, I'm just this badass heavyweight fighter and I don't care about chocolate milk? It's like, no, he really loves chocolate milk, maybe, So do you throw that away? And the answer is, for a time, you do, don't you? But then as a man, you get back in touch with these feelings. And they can actually give you motivation. I was thinking about Alfred Hitchcock, who was making movies for, the studios when he was older and stuff like that. And he would have them fly in lobsters from Maine once a week on Fridays. And I thought to myself, wow, that's incredibly wasteful. Wow, what an indulgent, feminine kind of way to deal with the world. But then somebody else said to me, no, not necessarily. Maybe that's the one thing that he really, really likes. And that's what keeps him going. That's what motivates him. It's not the money. It's not even the success of the movie. He's made a lot of movies. But it is that after a good week of work and getting things done and earning, serious money, he's going to indulge himself and have his favorite meal, so that's fine, right? So you have to treat yourself. You are not a slave or a workhorse to yourself. The people around you will try to pretend that you should sacrifice everything, that'll make you a good man. But even you cannot make yourself a slave. You cannot say to yourself, get up at 4:00 in the morning, every morning, and only eat 2,000 calories a day and only make it, fat and protein with only 10% carbohydrates. You can't. You might be able to do it for a day or two, for a week or two. Some of you could do it for a lifetime. But most people, one morning will come, they'll be, I'm too tired. I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it. I need a cheat day. I need a different type of meal. I feel terrible. You can't just order yourself around. So you do get to indulge yourself. I'll tell you, lately I've started to like, various designer fragrances for men, mostly Creed, Tree Hugger says, I quit reading Ayn Rand because I don't like fat Jewish Russian feminist lesbians. Well, I didn't know she was a lesbian. No, I don't see what that has to do with anything. You know what I mean, Tree Hugger? That would be like saying, I don't read Aristotle because someone told me that he kicked a dog once. It's like bullshit. It's completely unimportant to the whole substance of the situation. So that's how I see it. I don't take principles and ideals personally. I just don't. Some people do, right? If a man or a person from an enemy tribe comes up with a good idea, I'll take that idea. I have no problem, looking at it like, I have to like hurt certain people, things like that. We're all. Thanks for stopping by. Coffee for Howard. Howard, what brought you to MGTOW? Do you still slay the beaver or are you celibate? You're the best. Thank you. You're the best, brother. Thank you, we're all. Yeah, I need coffee. I'm just running out of my Starbucks breakfast blend. It's fruity and tangy. So thank you. I appreciate that. That'll allow me to buy some more coffee. Wow, what did bring me to MGTOW? Jeez. I was at the end of my rope. I was utterly destroyed. I had come to the end of the blue pill mindset. I had taken it as far as you could take it. I'd sacrificed everything for my family, for my sisters, for my mother, for the women in my life, for the workplace, for the corporation, for the government, for, the group. And I guess I was dying. You know what I mean? There was nothing motivating me. I was getting sick. And the people around me, all they wanted me to do was take care of them. And I did. And they started dying. Excuse me, I got to go shut the door. Someone's mowing the lawn. Be right back. Well, I'm not really leaving. Still here. In any case, I came to the realization, I'm back. I came to the realization that the ideas and the principles, like I hate this person over there, they lacked any sort of substance, that when push came to shove, when you really put them to the test, they were invalid. They did not stand up to the truth. Because if they did, then I would have been strong and healthy and fit and productive in my life. Do you see? And I would have been able to stop those people from destroying themselves and getting fat and getting sick and indulging their weaknesses and destroying their lives and destroying my life. I wasn't. I was not able to do that. And I saw these liberal, self-serving, egocentric opinions. I had to question them, right? I had to question them. I was being ripped apart for my altruism. I was being crucified on a cross of the good man. And I didn't want to die. And yet these arguments, everyone around me, that's what they were putting forth. And I couldn't really stand up to those arguments. So I started to study and investigate. And you know who I started to study and investigate? Of all people? Ayn Rand. So there you go. And this creates the connection, between ethics, morality, politics, and the other branches of philosophy. What is your purpose in life? What is the proper worldview? Look, I know that most people, they're not going to have to come to this, I was at the end of my rope. Like, I didn't want to keep living, if this is the way it was. And it's not this, retarded little group collective. It's not this stupid little tribe. It's a strong individual that can support themselves in a free market. That's what it is. And if you don't have that, oh, look, man, we've lost all the avatars. Yeah. Power is true happiness. Well said. Exactly. And virtue is what enables you to get true power. And not temporary power, not authoritative, matriarchal, manipulative, emotional power, but the real power of a man, who can deal with objective reality and who can build and can, largely overcome nature and, many limitations, natural limitations. Animals can't do that. They have their instincts. The beaver knows how to build a dam. But, if the fucking river dries up, he does not know how to adapt himself, to go live on land. He just doesn't have those types of tools. So, Bogus, regarding your question, initially, the young person has to get much of their ego stripped away because it's based on false premises. Right? Like, you're brought up in a group of people and they tell you what the world is like and you believe them and you go along with them. And it serves your purposes. But then over time, you come to find, or the individual comes to find, that it's manipulative, that it's not all true, that they were making some stuff up and they're using these ideas to exploit the man, his disposability. So he has to give up parts of his ego, parts of his belief system. And it's very painful, like the idea that women are the purpose of your life and building a family with a woman. And so, like, if you go with that and you get together with a woman, she's going to walk all over you. She's not going to respect you. She's going to rip your guts out. And society and the culture around you is going to do the same as well. Right? Because you think that the purpose of life is to get together with a woman and to make her happy. She can't respect that. But maybe you've been built up your whole life, through your late teens and your 20s to think that way. Now you realize, no, the women they don't respect men without money. You know what I mean? So now you're like, well, screw the bitch, screw the bitches. Now I'm just going to go out and make money, right? But in the back of your mind, the man is like, yeah, I'm going to make the money. And now I'm going to get the women. So he's still kind of, got a problem there, right? So eventually he gets the money, or he gets some money, and he's like, you know what? These women are bullshit anyway. And it hurts. It hurts. So he has to let that go. Then he gets older, right? And he's like, look, women are women. Some of them are pretty. Sometimes they're nice. They're like pretty flowers. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they're beautiful. They're lovely to have around. They're very important. And, some women, they're more than pretty flowers. They're complete self-actualized human beings in some cases. Super chat coming through. MGTOW, thank you again, my friend. I have to agree with Jordan Peterson on this one. It's not power, but competence, which will lead to a better life in our society. Indeed, a merit-based society. That's what a free market is. And it's okay that some people want to, put some safeguards and some helping and some things like that in it. This is perfectly understandable. This is a good idea even. Right? Like, you don't just let old people, pass away and suffer in the streets. Or, the same with the widow and the orphaned children. You don't do that. But at the same time, if you go too far, then you become this slave to this emotional appeal, to the senses, which is not the purpose of life. That's maladaptive. It really is like we've got this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know what I mean? Like, first you have to learn to survive and take care of yourself. And then you have to learn, to feed and clothe yourself and to give yourself shelter. And then you can start thinking about, building tools, maybe doing a little bit of art, things like that. And then once you've kind of mastered your physical environment, then you could start thinking about, high art projects and philosophy and self-actualization. So we come from this world, this objective world where we know how to take care of ourselves, where we know how to survive, we know how to build the things. But then we start indulging these other aspects, art, politics, welfare, all kinds of things. And they're fine, they're good. But then we take it too far. and boom, the values in the civilization invert, and it comes crashing down. And it's happened to other advanced civilizations. This seems to be the cycle that happens. We are in, we're different because we have worldwide communications, we have history, we have knowledge, but it's still a really brutal cycle. And in my opinion, one of the main things about MGTOW is to make sure that it doesn't destroy you. That you, as an individual man, even though this is like a giant tidal wave that we're all being caught up in, that you, as an individual man, you can still have a good life. You could still fulfill so many of those things that you dreamed of when you were young. Not all of them, because some of them were foolish and unrealistic. Some of them got burned away. But here, let's play a game. Let's say you've got a regular blue pill man, a basic tradcon, a good guy, based on his feelings, his instincts, everything like that. Wants to get married, wants to have kids. He also wants to have a few mistresses, okay? Especially as his wife is getting older. He might want to divorce her and get a younger, prettier one too, along the way. But he finds out that he's living in a liberal, gynocentric matriarchy based on emotions. And he realizes that if he tries to go down that road, that he's screwed, that they'll just rip his heart out, rip his soul out. And they'll play him the whole way through. It's like playing a crooked game of poker that you're never going to win. So he gives up those dreams of getting together with a virtuous woman and building a family. He gives up those dreams of being a well-respected man in his community that makes a difference in his community. He gives up all this kind of selfish attachment to these ideas. And now, and understand that while he's holding on to these ideas, they're not making him strong. They're making him weak because the society around him they're exploiting him. Okay? So he gives them up and now he becomes strong. Now he realizes, okay, I have to earn, good money. And he does. And now the women are coming around to him. Okay? And he's like, wow, maybe I can build a family now. And like, no, that would be a mistake. But yeah, maybe now you can have some of their company. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So we, tear down the ego of the young because reality is not what they think that it is. And they have to develop the skills to get by in the objective world. But you don't want to tear away too much of it. You still want to have those things which really drive you. Like for Alfred Hitchcock, maybe it was the lobsters, For Elon Musk, maybe it's, shooting off a rocket. For another person, maybe it's a yearly trip to, do some serious snow skiing. For another person, maybe it's, a monthly trip to do some serious mountain biking. For another person, maybe it's flirting with attractive women or buying an expensive, escort. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? I don't see anything wrong with a man who dedicates himself to, finance and, building up his life. And then every, couple months or every few months, he hires himself, an expensive escort and treats himself to that, As long as he's not, this emotional blue pill simp that's being, destroyed by the society and the culture around him. Okay. So, thank you for the support, everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the likes. I seem to have lost my stream avatars and this application keeps going down on us. Not in a good way. Connecting, we're trying to. So yeah, we can definitely do a hangout at some point where you guys come in here and chat with me. No problem. And we're back. Boulder Bear and Taryn have the same avatar, but there's so few of them. What's going on, everybody? And where's Howard Dare? I think I have to actually join the channel page in order for that to work. Yeah, Unity. Do you guys know what Unity is? It's a software game development tool. It's actually pretty nice. It's got some really interesting, well. So you guys that are like having a hard time in life, well, I mean, I suppose that's everyone. That's pretty general. But, I mean, I'm sure some of you dream of creating games, for just apps. You could do that and you can distribute it worldwide. Understand, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you could not do that. You could make the app, you could build the software, but you had no way to distribute it. You would have to go to a publishing house and say, here's my thing. And they'll say, oh, yeah, okay, we'll market it, we'll produce it under our name, and we'll give you, 20%. Right? You're not, because you're not paying for the boxes or anything. You're not paying for anything. So that was this great limit, this great barrier to what you could do in the world. You were just one guy. Now you can market that game all over the world. You could market it in every language. You could offer any sort of a deal. You could offer coupon codes. You could market it through Facebook. You could market it through YouTube. You could market it through Twitter. You could give it away for free. You could charge $5 for each level. Okay, and this is whatever it is that you want. So it doesn't have to be making games, but that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? The tools, the development tools are all out there. This is a great time to be a man. It really is. And you guys need to, take advantage of it and build the best life that you possibly can. See, Super Chat Plant has grown. He's gotten bigger and stronger with your support. Empire of Man. Sounds like a title for a video that I would do. Simps are wimps. Yeah, comment on one of my recent videos. Globalism is feminism on steroids. So I'm taking that. I just took it. It's like, yeah, I'll start saying that now. I didn't even say thank you. It's like, yep, I'll take that. So you can do that. That's what people do. And you can distribute it worldwide. Hey, where's my, 59 people watching. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I don't think kill everyone is a command, Darren, but I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. No, I have to go other places to do that. All right. So I think I'm going to close this one out, you guys. Don't worry. I'll do another one. And I really appreciate you guys, hanging around and understand, there's a whole bunch of commands that go along with the avatars for you guys to play around with. I hope you enjoy that. It's just a little something to distract myself with. And I know that this isn't a really, organized and planned out live stream, right? I just kind of came on. MGTOW coming through again. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. How do you get motivation to go after your dreams? My job, which is a decent pay for now, seems to deplete my motivation. I'm trying to move forward, but it feels like a sinking ship sometimes. That's a great question. Because I think we all feel, this very thing. And, one of the biggest problems is motivation, that we are losing the motivation to do things. And you can see this. It's like people just don't start. You know what I mean? Like they go out, they buy a course or they buy a new piece of hardware or equipment, and then they just don't use it. And it is as if the world around us is sapping, our will to get things done. MGTOW. It could well be. Now, wouldn't it be cool if like my giant Super Chat Plant and Satanic MGTOW could like war it out and fight? And I know that when people are listening to this on the replay, that there's what I'm seeing on the screen right now, and yeah, it's not the same. There's a delay. Yeah, but that would be pretty awesome if like the two giant avatars could just like, fight. And they could do a duel, couldn't they? But the Super Chat Plant is not an avatar. He's just an animation. I don't mean just, but he's an animation. Yeah, I'm thinking something along the lines of, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That's what I'm thinking of. So concerning motivation, you've got to conserve your energies. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be tricked into caring about everything in the world and being made to feel guilty, that whole argument of, you should let people into your country because they're suffering. And it's like, look, I'm sorry that they're suffering. I don't want them to suffer, but it's not my responsibility. I mean, there's, multicellular life forms at the bottom of the ocean right now, and conditions aren't ideal for them, and they're suffering. I'm not going down there, okay? There's 2 lions in the Serengeti, and they're fighting it out right now, right? And one of them is suffering. I'm not breaking it up. I'm not running over there and breaking it up. I don't have any sort of responsibility like that. Bogus coming through with another super chat. He says, I support your channel only because it's more than percentage and sounding smart. The bottom line is what we need, the proper tools. Take your daily dose of red pills, gentlemen. Oh, indeed. Exactly. Thank you, Bogus. And I really do appreciate it. And, I know that not everybody's in a position where they can do so. And even your support coming back towards me is also part of this exact cycle that you're talking about, this real world, objective world, tools to get by. And my idea is that if you understand the tactics that are taking place from women, feminists, globalists, just emotional people who need your resources, who don't want to, who can't or don't want to and have been conditioned to not get them for themselves. Don't let it destroy you, It wanted to destroy me. They wanted me to sacrifice more. Like I was taking care of an elderly parent, and at one point I had to say, look, you're going into, a nursing home. Right. And they were like, no. And it was like, look, you should have gone into a nursing home a year ago. And I've done that with other people. And I've seen other people, healthy people, just destroy themselves, just indulge themselves, some of the worst habits, some of the worst weaknesses, some of the most indulgent, foolish ideas, and they don't work. And I'm sorry. And I would love to see, well, look, if you overeat, you're going to get sick. If you put too much food in the fish tank, it's going to poison the fish tank. I'm talking about your digestion there, We can't absolve people of suffering. They want us to. It's like you're trapped by your own decency and your own virtue, You're a good man. You don't want to see others suffer. You're strong. You're healthy. You want to help others, but you've got to help the right people. Do you help the drug addict who's not working? No, you cannot. Do you help the free hospital down on the corner that's trying to make sure that the drug addicts don't die while they're out there? Maybe. Maybe you do. So this is about dealing in objective reality. This is about the philosophy, the mindset, the ideas, the virtues, the values of the people around you, not sucking you in and destroying you. You're a man. You have to be productive. Being healthy, being productive is your number one priority in life. I know some of you are thinking, no, it's my mother, right? That's what I was thinking 15 years ago. It's my family. No, it can't be. No creature, could exist. There's no lion out there that's like, and the most important thing today is that other people, get fed. It's just not. Maybe after he's, all taken care of, then yes, of course. Absolutely. If that's what he wants. He could be like Charlemagne. He could build, structure, and he could be like Alexander, not merely a conqueror, but an explorer, a settler, a spreader of ideas. Although that might be getting a little too generous. I think you could say that's true with someone like Alexander spreading, Greek philosophy and ideas. Super chat coming through, MGTOW. Thanks, Howard. No, thank you, MGTOW. And I appreciate, the support, that you're sending my way. We'll put it to good use and good cause here to help the other men. Maybe, look, personal individual responsibility, that's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I mean? And it's not even a fair pill to swallow for like a young guy in his early 20s whose family is, not treated him well and system around him. And he's like, hey, you got to be responsible for yourself. He's like, I hate you. And you're not my father. And you can understand, where he's coming from. But these are where those, these ideas can be so helpful. And the sooner that he gets them and the sooner that he understands them and accepts them, the sooner he can, break out of the plantation, his enslavement. Hopefully, these are the tools to help the man not become a slave or to break out of slavery, and then to find meaning and purpose in his life. And that includes him being productive, okay? And being able to build his own future, a job, work, sustainable. Look, I'll summarize it with this, okay? The most important things in life, what do you think they are? You think it's fame and fortune and money and sex and being able to indulge your whims? That's what most people think it is, but it's not. You do that, you'll become sick very quickly. You'll become sick. And you won't even get motivated. Like the job of becoming rich and famous and loved and sex and indulging, it's going to be hard work. And it's such a trivial pursuit that you're going to give it up. You're going to be like, why am I doing this to myself? This is not an important calling in life, and this is destroying me. Unfortunately, this is the calling that, the group instills into most people. That your calling in life is to be rich, to be famous, to have everything that you want, to be able to do whatever you want. That's it. You ask a kid what they want to be when they grow up nowadays, you know what they say? They say they want to be an influencer. They want to be a social influencer. They want to be famous on YouTube. They want to be like PewDiePie. So there you go. So why aren't you guys, doing stuff here online, building, a personal brand online? Trust me when I say every corporation is doing so. And there will be no Fortune 500 company in the next 10 years that that doesn't do so. And I would further say to you that every Fortune 500 company that is, there now, say, 500 of them, 400 of them will not be there in 10 years. So you could be there. Just saying. Now, why did I lose my fucking train of thought, though? Now I'm lost. Your greatest meaning and purpose in life is to live and have a good life for yourself. That's what nobody tells you. They don't want you to be aware of this. This doesn't mean hurting anybody. This doesn't mean indulging anybody. Now, I remember, okay, so, becoming famous and indulging yourself is not the greatest thing in life, even though children and a lot of people think that it is. They end up destroying themselves. Do you want to know what is the greatest thing in life? And this is, like throughout the ages, work, having a job that is meaningful and impactful to the people around you. Doesn't have to be like, you're a big doctor or a big famous person. It's just that, you have some work, you have a small group of friends, people around you that care about you, that you care about, and that you have work that you can do that makes things better for them. Okay? That's like the most important thing in life. Having this small group of friends, that's one of the most important things in life. Having time to just be alone, to just relax and think and decide what's important to you. That's one of the most important things in life. Not being famous, not traveling, not having expensive dinners, not being well known, having free time where you don't have to do anything so you can think about what's important to you in life. This is the basis of the early monasteries, the early Greek retreats. They weren't even monasteries. They were places where people would go and, take therapy and vacation. That's all they did. They would play, they would watch some plays, they would drink some wine, they would do some painting. That was, that was their therapy. That was what they did to restore balance to their life. And when Christianity came in, what they did eventually was they built their monasteries on the sites of those Greek and Roman retreats. Monasteries, that's what a monastery really is. It's a place where they go away from, the main world. They develop, the small group, but they have to be productive. They don't just get to live there and drink wine. They're part of a community, and they can't disrupt that community. So this is where people find meaning and purpose in life, by taking care of those things. So you could even, anyway, thank you for the support, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll put it to good use, spreading a useful, insightful message to the men, especially the young men, but also all men, about the pitfalls and the dangers that are out there for them, some of the tools and ideas that will enable them to avoid and to prosper and to get ahead in the world, despite this. Because like I said, this is a great time for you to be alive as a man. You could have a great life. You could have a harem of women. If that's what you want, you can have it. Okay? You could have, lots of money and resources if that's what you want, but you got to be focused. You can't be chasing after every little, tardy whore that comes walking by you, that's wearing some French perfume. You can't just be like, oh my God, that's the most important thing in life. It's not. Do you ever notice that whenever you get together with a woman, you're like, wow, this is going to be great. I'd do anything to get together with her. I love you. So you're acting like that. And then you get together with her and you're like, wow, she doesn't smell as pretty as I thought. Wow, it doesn't feel as good as I thought, having somebody hanging all over my shoulder with sweaty underarms. Wow, it doesn't feel as good as I thought, having to talk to this person on the phone for 4 hours a day, So isn't it amazing that, you think you want it so badly and you think it's oh so important, and then you get it and it's like, well, I don't want this. I want something else. So try to remember that too. If you're like, oh, my life doesn't have meaning, it doesn't have purpose because I don't have women. It's like bullshit. Even if you had one, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go watch some TV now. Can you leave me alone while I go play my video game? That's how I was, right? That honestly is, right? Like I'd get together with a woman and be like, yeah, this is great. Thanks. Then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go into my room and get on the computer. Why don't you just stay out here and watch TV and don't bother me? Maybe I'll talk to you again before the evening is done. Maybe not. But then all the interaction with her became so burdensome, and so shame, throwing around and manipulation thrown around. That's how I experience it most of the time. All right. Yes, globalists are traitors. Yeah, I think so too. But the thing is, Silhouette, that a lot of them are very young and they think they're trying to do the good thing. You know what I mean? Like they're just naive. They're like children saying, look at that other group over there. Shouldn't we share our food with them? And it's like, no. And if we look too weak, they're going to come over here and steal it all from us and kill us. So don't even send out those types of signals. And it's a decent thought, for the children and for the women. It's a decent thought, but then it's just an indulgent, foolish thought. And you have to become strong enough as a man, to kind of like enforce these types of rules in your life, not over other people. You can't do it, but you can't involve yourself with the crazy woman, who wants to be so generous to the world, but with other people's money. No, that's a bad sign. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Globalists are cuckolds. It's just everything you guys say. I agree with it so damn strongly that I can't just be like, oh, no, I'm done. It's like, no, that's true. Globalists are cuckolds. But again, there's also, the very liberal side of it. There is some decent virtue there, or we would have never adopted any of it. You know what I mean? You know what's going on? My stream avatars are too high up. You guys are coming into the wrong area. So yeah, you guys belong down there. There you go. And I'll tell you something else. This area over here where, the Howard Dare avatar is, and the notifications, this is like prime area. This is like a high rent district. I should build a wall so that you guys can't come into this area, but only hang out over here with the giant super chat plant. Yeah, I should definitely build a wall. Okay. We're going to have to do that next time. All right. I mean, what do you think? Should I build the wall so that you guys can only, the avatars can only come over to where, the Howard Dare avatar is? Build the wall. Build the wall. Hey, do you guys have currency? Do me a favor. Somebody who's been here from the start, type in exclamation currency. I want to see if you have. I've been trying to give people money. Just printing it. I just fucking print it up. I've been trying to. Yeah, Angela Merkel wants a global army. Definitely, but it's based on, this whole idea of altruism and sacrifice, and you have to like take care of people. And I only have 98 gold. Give Howard Dare 500. Sorry, I'm just trying it out. So let's say give blind rambler 100. Wait, currency give. Currency space give blind rambler 100. I only have 99. Okay, I'll get this figured out. And this will go towards upgrading avatars and buying equipment and changing colors and all kinds of things. Let me see. Try a couple commands here. Joseph Dunphy says, Howard Dare, globalists would turn the disappearance of their own countries into de facto reality. Obviously, traitors. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah, like the Swiss and the German, they're like, the German people are disappearing, and that's a good thing. Did you hear Joe Biden talking recently about wave after wave of immigrant coming into America? That'll be a good thing. That'll replace wave after wave of immigrants coming into America, and that's a good thing. That's what he said. Let's see if we can find that. Huh. Okay, I'll find it eventually. I can't just search it and find it. A little more subtle than that. Okay, no problem. What's going on in the chat? I'll figure out how to, distribute the money too. I want everybody to have a lot of money so that they can figure out, how to interact with the whole system. And then, we'll set the economy up for real. But we're just going to have to do a couple weeks of just playing around. Oh, look, there's the Howard Dare avatar. See if this works. Yeah, there's this, nasty delay that I think what we're seeing with the avatars is like, sometime behind us or something. Either these commands are not working or I'm using them wrong, Wait a minute. Howard Dare has he changed? I just looked away for a second. Yeah, Howard Dare has changed. Okay, so they did work. So yeah, now Howard Dare is a little slimy slug creature down there. I don't like that at all. I guess it was random. That's what happens, man. That's what would happen with reincarnation too. You know what I mean? So like, what if like when you die, they're like, do you want to come back? And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to come back. And they're like, but we can't guarantee what you will be. And it's be like, do you want to come back? And you'd be like, wow, look at that. Now I came back as a big giant floating green dragon. Oh, I'm coming after the super chat plant. Oh, that's a badass one. So there you go, guys. But it's like, okay, you're coming back as a snail. Like, no. Do you want to come back again? I lost it. I lost the big one. I lost the big dragon, and now I'm just a little flower. I've been reincarnated as a little flower. Oh, this sucks. Joseph Dunphy is already chowing down on me. Damn. All right. Well, I can't sit with that. Yeah, I am just rambling. It really is. It really is just like a stream of consciousness. Sorry about that. There's no way I'm leaving the stream with that, small little avatar there. It's just unacceptable. Now I'm back to the flower. Oh, well. That's the way it is. Kill3R says you can see why people vote like that when they see some of Mark Dice's videos. Most people are either dumb or don't care. Liberalism, find a cure. I like some of Mark's videos. He critiques the news and stuff like that, and they need it too, man. They really do. So, yeah, but he's not going to appeal to everybody. He's more of a, he's got wide appeal. Let's just put it that way. Thank you, Megatown. Thank you for the support. Joseph says, again, I'd like to point out that in real life, I'm 67. Yeah, isn't that something, right? Well, I get treated like a complete idiot in my own comments section, a lot of the time, not most of the time. Very rarely, actually, but it does happen. It's like people will just start telling me this and telling me that, and it's like, wait a minute. You know whose channel this is, right? You know whose comment section this is. And sometimes I get pretty upset, and then I realize how silly it is for me to get upset with them. And then I just delete them. That's the smart way to go. That's how I see it. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Dunphy. I wasn't able to recognize the age, but I should recognize it simply by the way, you express yourself and you communicate because you're very polite and thoughtful, which that's usually a sign of wisdom. It really is. I've actually got a video, how to earn respect from others. And the number one thing that I've got, it's like, okay, number one, right out of the gate, don't be disrespectful to people. Don't try to show people how smart you are and how stupid they are. Don't do that to people because you might be dealing with somebody, who's very well established, very intelligent, who's in a position to even help you. And you've just, walked up there and insulted them for no reason. So don't do that. That's my number one bit of advice. Be polite, as far as earning respect goes. Which it goes pretty far. All right. Back to using matches. I get so upset when my lighters die and I get stuck in the middle of the night without, the ability to, light something, that I said, I'm buying a box of matches. That's it. So the next time a lighter goes out, I've got a whole box, and that'll get me through. Oh, no, I'm not 67. I'm 6'7". Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that before. Okay, I'm sorry. Damn. Not easy. You know what I mean? That must actually have some difficulties associated with it. The world is not built for people who are 6'7". I'd say it's built for people that are about 6'2". Imagine if we lived in a world that was built for women. Imagine if the women were Well, they are like, you have to change the battleships. The sinks in the battleships are too high. The air conditioning in the submarines is too high. Yeah, if I had a kid, thank you, Silhouette, or Silhouette. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think that everybody is their own person, you know, and what a struggle it is to become, you know, a strong individual. Like, I don't know that my father would be proud of me in all ways, but in some ways, I think he would. And I could be wrong. He could be proud of me in all ways, right? Because it's interesting. The apple rarely falls oh so far from the tree. But I don't know that I would require my kid to be like me. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And I don't think it's their own journey. It really is. Even like the idea of naming somebody after an ancestor. It's like, I almost think that's kind of unfair. You know, it's like, no, it's not. It's not your ancestor, right? It's not your grandfather. This is his own, this is their own new person, completely new. And they deserve their own chance, and they might not be anything like me. It's an interesting thought, you know, and then you let them go their own way, and then eventually they come back, you know, to what they truly are. Hopefully they're not so lost. You know, so helping men find their way in life, in a world where the institutions, the people around, the governments, the large moneyed interests, they want you to, you know, dedicate yourself to their causes, to their purposes. But you as a free man, you need to be dedicated to your own causes and to your own principles and to the things that give your life meaning. You'll have to discover those things too. You'll have to find out that you made some mistakes, you know, and put your faith in the wrong ones. It's a tough process. Life is not easy. Hopefully we can develop some tools here that'll help the men out, because I think they're being tricked. I think they're being cheated. And I think it goes into our politics as well. Like, I don't think you can say MGTOW and then not say, oh, okay, they're instituting these laws, you know, that are disadvantaged, you know, a disadvantage to men. These ideas, you know, that they're instituting, this idea of, you know, check your privilege, this idea of women have been oppressed for thousands of years. That's the basis. That's the basis of feminism. A lie, something that's false, you know, something that gives them moral superiority to condemn men. Okay. Be aware of that. Don't fall for it. Be aware that the most important thing for you to do is to have a strong, productive, healthy, happy life. You have to do that first. That's the purpose. That's it. For you to have a good life. That's the purpose of your life. If you want to take on other things as you go, you can do so. But don't let other people put them on you. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'll come back on, you know, soon, within a day or so, or maybe later tonight. I don't know. In the meantime, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. I'll try to leave the stream up. I don't know. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.